Lesson 9 Chess Tactics, Double Attack and the Fork. Part 1, Essential Tactical Knowledge, Double Attacks and the Fork. Concepts, Learning to Double Attack in Chess. What is a fork? The killer knives, the fearsome forks and the soft spoons. Now that you have learned the basic terminology of chess, some fundamental strategies, and received your introduction to the different phases a chess game might take, like the opening stage, it is time to learn what 90% of chess is all about. Tactics. 2 is better than 1. Double attacks are simply more fun. 1.rc7 and 1.qd3 plus are both double attacks. 90% of chess is tactics. The reason? All games are eventually decided by tactics. So, though it is true that the different positional and long-term strategies you will learn later are just as important, you must first learn how to use tactics. Tactics win pieces. More pieces leads to a better chance at checkmating the enemy king, and checkmating the enemy king is the goal of the game. Our first tactic of discussion is the double attack, or fork in some cases. Here white has two possible methods of double attack, and they both win material. The double attack is simple, the move that attacks two pieces at the same time. Double attacks continued. The fork. The knight and pawn join the fun. When a knight and pawn double attack two enemy pieces, this is called a fork. Why the different name? Because the knight and the pawn attack in such a way that is split just like the fork you use to eat. In our diagram both the knight and pawn are forking at least two enemy pieces. Though it is possible for a knight to fork up to 8 enemy pieces, like this position here, it is highly unlikely. The most common fork is 1 or 2 pieces, and rarely 3. Though if the enemy king is forked, good results will usually follow. Copyright Chesskit.com page 1 of 7. Lesson 9. Example 1. The killer knives double attacks by rooks, bishops and queens. 1.rxf1. Rxf1 2.dd3 plus. Win by double attack. The best way to learn how to use tactics is practice, and we will get to the worksheet soon enough. Before we do however, it is good to learn how to find viable worthwhile targets for a tactic. This is the method of recognizing tactical patterns. Patterns repeat, right? Well, in chess positions repeat too. To follow are 3 very common ways to double attack and fork your opponents. Knives first. When white does a double attack with the straight like a knife moving pieces, we call these killer knife double attacks. Not real knives of course, just make-believe. Here white plays a combination for a killer knife double attack. Example 2, the fearsome forks double attacks by knights and pawns. White used the strong knight and the open file for the rook to create a fearsome fork tactic. Whenever the enemy king is lined up on a straight line with his pieces, there might be a chance for the double attack used in our previous diagram. That is a pattern. Likewise, whenever we have a strong knight in the center, with lots of enemy pieces around it, we should look for an opportunity to execute a fearsome fork tactic. Can you see it? White's knight on d5 is a super horsey, and black hasn't castled the king yet. It is white's job to punish the black king for hanging around too long. White plays 1.4a8, sacrificing the rook in order for the c7 pawn to become undefended. After black has to play 1.kix8 or lose the queen, white plays 2.nxc7 plus, forking the king, queen and rook on e6. We call this a royal fork. Example 3, the soft spoons double attacks that really aren't that good. 1.qc5 plus is met by 1.re7, guarding the rook. Tactical patterns like the ones shown in examples 1 and 2 happen every day in chess games all around the world. Use the worksheets to see more patterns of double attacks and forks. Here we tried to provide an example of a not swamp-pressive fork. We call them soft spoons. A spoon is a fun term for a double attack that doesn't really do anything. If a knight tried to fork an enemy knight, for example, that might be a spoon because an enemy knight can capture the same way your knights can. Here white gives a check and double attacks the rook and king, but to no avail as black can simply protect both pieces. Copyright Chesskit.com page 2 of 7. Lesson 9 Chess Tactics, Double Attack and the Fork. Instructor's Guide. The importance of this lesson, as well as the other tactical lessons to follow, should be very clear. Tactics are the major deciding factor of every chess game. The basics of counting attackers and defenders was discussed in Lesson 5, but here the concept of attacking your opponent's pieces in specific ways is introduced. Ultimately, no amount of general chess advice or positional chess knowledge can help a chess player who misses tactics. The double attack is self-explanatory and its merit is obvious. Attacking two things at the same time is better than attacking one. Recognizing and even creating the opportunities for powerful double attacks and forks is a more difficult matter. However, with practice your students will eventually buy into learning these tactical methods so that they may be aware of the tactical patterns in their own games. Practical Notes and Advice, Lesson 9. The best type of double attack is one that targets two undefended or loose pieces/squares in your opponent's position. Teaching your students to always look for hanging undefended enemy chessmen is the first step towards helping them to use double attacks and forks effectively in their own chess games. Have your students play practice games, raising their hands to show you every time they used a double attack or fork against their opponent. During these practice sessions, students will naturally want your approval, likely calling you over for multiple spoon double attacks. Point out every time they thought they had a killer knife double attack, or a powerfully fearsome fork, but instead they were actually only attacking their opponent with a spoon. Copyright ChessKid.com, page 3 of 7. Lesson 9. Lesson 9. Which is it? A killer knife, a fearsome fork, or a soft spoon? Circle the correct answer beneath each diagram. Bonus: circle the white piece that is doing the attacking in each position. Circle the correct answer: knife, fork, or spoon. Circle the correct answer: knife, fork, or spoon. Here you circle the correct answer: knife, fork, or spoon. Circle the correct answer: knife, fork, or spoon. Copyright ChessKid.com, page 4 of 7. Lesson 9. Lesson 9. Knives and forks. In each diagram there is an opportunity for either white or black to apply a double attack whether by knife or fork to the opponent. Circle the piece and draw an X on the square it should move to. Bonus: use algebraic notation and write down the move to the right. White to play, find the double attack by fork. White to play, find the double attack by knife. White to play, find the double attack by knife. Black to play, find the double attack by fork. Copyright ChessKid.com, page 5 of 7. Lesson 9. Lesson 9. Knives and forks. Tricky. In each diagram there is an opportunity for either white or black to apply a double attack whether by knife or fork to the opponent. Circle the piece and draw an X on the square it should move to. Bonus: use algebraic notation and write down the move to the right. Black to play, find the double attack by knife. Black to play, find the double attack by knife. Black to play, find the double attack by knife. Black to play, find the double attack by knife. Copyright ChessKid.com, page 6 of 7. Lesson 9. Knives, forks and spoons. Answer key. Worksheet page 1. Which is it? Diagram number 1. Knife. Circle white rook on f5. Diagram number 2. Spoon. Circle knight on d6. Both pieces are protected and the knight on e8 can capture the knight on d6, so this fork is actually a spoon. Diagram number 3. Fork. Circle the knight on e7. Diagram number 4. Spoon. Circle the white rook on c3. Despite the double attack, black can play boldface 4, protecting both the bishop and the c7 knight. Worksheet page 2. Knives and forks. Diagram number 1. and d7 plus, forking the king and queen. Circle e5 knight and xd7 square. Diagram number 2. bd4 plus, a knife double attack of the king and the a7 rook. Circle b2, bishop and d4 square. Diagram number 3. q5, a knife double attack of the b8 rook and the g7 square, which is the threat of checkmate. Circle e1 queen and xe5 square. Diagram number 4. northeast 2 plus, forking the king and queen. Circle d4 knight and xe2 square. Worksheet page 3. Knives and forks. Tricky. Diagram number 1. qd6. A knife double attack of the b4 knight and the h2 square, which is the threat of checkmate. Circle d8 queen and xd6 square. Diagram number 2. 1. rg3 plus. A knife double attack of the g5 knight and the king white's f2, pawn is pinned. See lesson 10. Circle h3 rook and xg3 square. Diagram number 3. 1. qxg3 plus. A knife double attack of the c7 rook and the king white's f2, pawn is pinned. See lesson 10. Circle g4 queen and xg3 square. Diagram number 4. 1. road 3. A knife double attack of the c3 bishop and the h3 square, which is the threat of checkmate. Circle d8 rook and xd3 square. Copyright Chesskit.com, page 7 of 7.